Well, okay, now, what am I going to use to paint it? Pache airbrush. Now, what are you going to do with this? Well, I'm going to set this up, and I'm going to cut in very carefully. Light paint. Cut in everything. Cut in everything. Then I'm going to go with a regular air paint sprayer and get something up here so I can, back and forth, and clean that up and do that. And then I got to do all of the piping, which I got a pile of stuff over there. Do all the piping separate and put it all back together. Okay, now the other problem is this over here. Going this way. 1361. Okay, that was done by Connie Miracle. Now, I don't know Connie Miracle personally. Don't know her personally. And I went to her because I gotta go to Connie Miracle. Okay, well, she's not the only person in the world that can make vinyl lettering. And there's another guy actually doing it now. Well, I had to have her make it 3 times in order to get it right. I have drawings for this stuff. I have A to Z pictures of the letters, the way they're supposed to be made. The lettering, the numbering now, the numbering, let me tell you about that. There's 2 different styles of numbering. They're both claw clarendon. However, the ones that were used on the Locomotive were wider. They were wider this way. Like the 6, instead of having, what that 6 has is like little rounded corners. Some of the 6s, like what's on the Keystone, is a round hole. Okay, so there's 2 different kinds. Now there's a place called Rail Font. They sell rail fonts. And I bought it, was $9. I got the claw clarendon and I got the regular lettering for Pensy. But they don't give you numbers. Why? They don't give you the numbers. I had to literally create the numbers on CAD. So I have those. And I got to experiment. I got to do is take a tracing of that and try to duplicate that. Now I have my own vinyl cutting machine. I make my own lettering. Why? Because, okay, if somebody else is making it, like Connie Miracle, whatever's in her head, in her picture, not in my picture possibly. So I get the Pennsylvania that's on my cars. Pennsylvania. Well, they're too tall, they're not stretched right, they're not exactly right. When I build anything, I do a lot of research. People say, why does it take you so long? Because I'll take the time like the dome here, for example. I'll probably spend a week researching how that looked and pictures and everything. I just don't, just throw it on there. You gotta, look, it has why it has a little reinforcements in there. The way it's all set up here, the way this piece is, it's got a chain on it. That's the way the original was, in case you dropped that. All right, and this can be put sand in this if I wanted to. So you do the research, and I did the research on the lettering and on the Keystone. I had a guy comment, your Keystone's too fat. In other words, I said, oh, okay. Well, I mentioned Muldowney earlier in this conversation, and Ron Muldowney, the brother of Keith, is an avid railroadiana collector, builder's plates. He's probably one of the experts in the world, maybe. And he has several Keystones. And took the Keystone. In fact, I have a drawing of the Keystone was used and the lettering. Now there was 2 different kinds of those. There was one letter, one number. They had K4s. I think there was a number 8, a K4 8. They didn't do like the New York Central had 5344. Then they had 5401 and 5402, 5403. They sequentially numbered them. K4s, Pensy did not do that. They numbered them any way they felt like. Why? I don't know. They didn't do that. So There's a 1361. I think there was a 1362. There was other locomotives, but now there was an 8. There was a 12. So now 8, the Keystone, whatever the shape is. They had the 3-numbered ones were bigger numbers. They were bigger numbers. The 4 numbers were smaller numbers. There was no more than 4 numbers. They only had 4 numbers. So it's either 3 big ones, or 2 of the 2 big ones, and 1 big one. So there was 2 different sizes, either 4, 3, 2, or 1 number. Now I thought, well, I'll make a K4. I'll make a Keystone, a blank Keystone, and have an insert to go so you can drill it and have the numbers with little pins on the back, and you just lay them in there. Put some silver solder, that's paste silver solder, heat it up, makes a Keystone. Now that one there was made by John Hudak. Hi John, I'm doing this video for him actually, and he made a beautiful Keystone for me, and that's, you know, the only piece that was ever CNC'd on this locomotive. But he did a perfect job. I had Robert Dustin, I know Bob Dustin. I used his plates many times over the years. He sent me a Keystone. It was absolutely outrageously terrible. I'm sorry, Bob. That was wrong. I will not use it. It'd be like putting a Studebaker hood ornament on a Rolls Royce. Or Bentley even. This is a Bentley, this locomotive. And yeah, I can pat myself on the back. This is a real working scale model. It runs. It steams like there's no tomorrow. And that's a whole nother story there about the steaming qualities and everything. Okay, so you got I use the scale coat if you can get it. I use the flow quill. You got to use the one for metal. If you can still get it, you can find it. And it lasts a long time. I have a box here. Where's my box? This is my PRR colors, you see. It says right on there, PRR. This is the freight car color. This is for the lettering. It is reefer yellow with a little bit of burnt umber is what they use, burnt umber, to make it. Now I have a little dropper here. And okay, and I had somewhere. All right, I'm gonna make it right. Okay, you just put 7 drops of brown. Boom, 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 boom. And that helps you get it right. Now you want to know about the colors. Okay, well the colors: dark green locomotive enamel, freight car red or color, freight car red, Tolodyne red. That red color was the window frames, and the Keystone. Now, why didn't you paint this the brown color, the oxide red? Well, first of all, after 1940, they were not painted like that. Look, we have the information out there. Don't guess. Write these people letters. You got email today. You don't have snail mail. You write a nice email to the people. There was a guy, his name was Irving, I think his name was. He sent me what's called color, I can't think of the name right now, but they're big pieces of paper like this with the proper colors on them. And I use that. Now, there's formulas for this stuff. Brunswick green. I've heard it 100 times. There was a dear friend of mine, George Ayers. He used to say this, and it's totally wrong. He would say, Brunswick green is nothing more than a 55-gallon drum. This is a quote. 55-gallon drum with 1 gallon of green in it. Wrong. Dark green locomotive enamel, if you want to say Brunswick green for generic, Brunswick green had 28 parts of yellow, white, and black. So now, You remember the primary colors? We all went to school. We had the primary colors. Well, if you take yellow, crayon, Crayola, and you go like that, and then you take a blue Crayola and you go over it, magically it becomes green. Well, let's take black and a yellow crayon and you get dark green. So this is not a 55-gallon drum with a gallon of green in it. Scale coat has got it right. This is, when you look at this locomotive, it looks black in the inside. When you go outside in the sunlight and you're looking at it from the top, because you know we're standing above it 4 or 5 feet, and you're looking down, it's green color because the sun shines it. Now, if I was this high, 8 inches high, like a scale to the locomotive, and I look up at it, it's going to look black. At night, it looks black. If you look at some of my videos, it looks black. From here, running boards right here, down, including the cylinders, drivers and everything, the locomotives were black. Black. We're going to talk about black in a minute. Above here, around, was DGEL, locomotive enamel, GGLE. And you want to paint this between the drip things, freight car color. If you're modeling after 1940, which this locomotive is, they were green. They were all green. Talk about black. Now, I use a red oxide primer, and I use this stuff right here, Krylon. Rattle can. Rattle, 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 rattle. Nothing wrong with this paint. It's good paint. I've been using it for years and years and years and years. You see that? It don't even come off. If you clean it good, you prime it good, and you use this stuff, it's not going to go bad. Look, the semi-gloss. You do not use shiny black paint. It's just wrong. I've seen people, they leave all the little bolts brass. Did you ever see a locomotive look like that? Did you ever see a locomotive? There's one builder, a noted builder, he's gone to the Rate Roundhouse. Stainless steel. Left it all stainless. It looks so stupid. Just stupid. Locomotives didn't have that. Oh yeah, if they were streamlined, but it was a model on a streamlined locomotive. Okay, rattle can. Now, let me talk about Krylon. Originally, Krylon was made by Krylon. Now it's made by Rust-Oleum. There's only one Rust-Oleum paint that's any good, and that's the industrial quality Rust-Oleum. The regular homeowner's junk is no good. This one here, you look at the bottom of the can, and I don't know if this is going to show up in here, but I'm going to try. Right over here, you see the numbers there? Okay. You look for 1613. There's other numbers in there, but 1613. That is this color on the cap here. It's a satin black. This is the absolute perfect color for locomotive. Now in the future, I just rebuilt the lead truck there a few years ago because it had some problems with the springing on it. It was a little too stiff. The person who designed that, which I started with somebody else's design, which, anyway, way too stiff. So any undulation in the track, like if you were to go and it was like dipped in, and then the lead truck, especially on a turn, it would start to lift the locomotive up, and it wasn't giving, and it was reducing the weight of the drivers. So a few years ago, I did that thing with the weighing the drivers and all that, and I determined that there was way too much weight on the lead truck. I reduced it down half of what it was. But when I had it apart, I powder coated that thing with the satin black. And I'm not going to do this now, but the Mikado I'm building, I'm going to powder coat everything. The whole chassis, everything. As much as I can. Why? And if I want to paint it with this stuff, if it ain't the right color, I can always paint it with this, but it'll stay on there. But basically, it'll have a coating of black. And the black is, let me tell you something. If you ever work with powder coat, it stays on. I have my own powder coating equipment. I can't do the frame. I mean, I don't have an oven big enough. If I had an oven big enough, I could. They say you can do it with lights. I don't know. I'll take it to a guy and have him do it. Say, here, look, use this paint, use this here powder. It's the best thing ever. All right. I don't know what else to cover. I got a lot of different colors here. All kind of colors. All float quill. Oh, if you buy the scale coat, make sure you get dirt thinner. I don't know if it matters, but I use dirt thinner. It was $10 for a quart. I use that to thin the paint, but I clean up with lacquer thinner. That works fine. Well, anyway, hopefully that'll take care of your questions. Now, if you just say, that's baloney, nothing wrong with automotive paint, that's good. Well, look, I make these videos. I'm taking time out of my work here today to make this video. And there's many, many people that appreciate my videos, but there's always one guy out there spoils it for the rest by saying, nah, critical of everything. So now when I'm critical on somebody like on Facebook or something, they get all upset with me. Oh, this is fun. We're having fun. This is fun. Well, it's fun for me. But, you know, it's my job. This is what I do to live. I make these trains. I'm not in the basement somewhere. I got a regular shop here. It costs me a lot of money to keep this going. So it's not a game with me. But anyway, that's it from here. I think it's going to come out perfectly. I got it all done. I got to do the tender. The tender needs some work. Because, see, I left it up there a couple of years, and there's moisture up there, and it started to peel off. I didn't prime that one either, so I'm going to take all the outside paint off of that and prime it good and repaint it. Okay, well, I hope I was a little informative on this, a little bit informative for you on this. And try the scale coat. Look, go to your store that sells this stuff. You can buy it online. Buy it, try it. Don't invest a lot. This is $64 a quart. That's a lot of money. Go buy some automotive paint, see what happens. And you can't get it in the right color. Don't go telling me, oh, they have a computer, and you put the thing on there and pop out. Forget it. It don't work. This here, Brunswick green, they're calling it Brunswick green, but DGEL, or dark green, DGLE is the right color. Brunswick green, that came from DuPont made the thing. That's what I heard. DuPont made it, and DuPont companies in Brunswick, New Jersey, New Brunswick. Or Brunswick green is actually a green color from the English. This is dark green locomotive enamel is the proper name. Okay. Well, I'll show you some progress when I get a little more done. And in a couple of weeks I should have this all completed. And we're going to take it out to the train club and run it. And I'm going to do the tender next. And hopefully I'm going to, oh, by the way, don't use vinyl lettering. Not on a locomotive. On the cars you can do it. But don't use vinyl lettering. It's just too harsh of an environment for vinyl lettering. That's painted. Paint the part where you're going to paint yellow. Put the stencils on. There's a special stencil vinyl that don't curl up with the paint. You put the numbers on. Paint the rest of it to green. When it's all set, you peel the numbers off, and voila, you got it. Okay. Well, that's it from Mercer Locomotive today, the Train Man. Thanks for watching my videos. Subscribe, and we'll see you again on the next video.